What's up, everybody? It's 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time, January 11th, 2018. This is Brian from HASHWAREHUB. We're coming to you with a brand new trading video. We're going to be going over IOTA, Ripple, and Cardano. Those are the three that we're going to be going over, and I believe in that order too. But first, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all of our trading information and other information coming directly to you. And also, if you haven't got involved in the KuCoin exchange, I would suggest you take a look at our video from I think a day or two ago. We also have a link to the exchange down below in our description. It's a really cool exchange, and we're getting involved in it. And you should take a look at it. It's my opinion, but it looks like a really great thing to take a look at and get involved in. Especially when it comes to altcoins, and especially what's going on with these exchanges where they're closing everybody out of them because they're just getting inundated. Aside from the great features that this exchange has, this is just purely just based on the fact that you need another place to trade. So this is available and it's open, and you might as well take the opportunity. That's not even considering the great features that it has. So I'll leave it to go take a look at our video regarding the KuCoin exchange. But or you can use our link down below, and it'll bring you directly to the exchange, and you can read about it directly there. But let's get right into it here. We're looking at Cardano here, and let's not start with Cardano. We could, but let's just start from the top. IOTA. So normally we're just looking at the algo trading when it comes to these things, but what we're trying to introduce is a little bit more technical analysis, so you guys can kind of see the roadmap that we kind of have overlaying all this technical analysis. So the algo stuff is really great for like surgical precision. The technical analysis stuff is like, where'd you come from and where are you most likely going? And it's great to provide a roadmap. The technical analysis is, Elliott wave and chart patterns are great to show, to provide a roadmap. But if you want to get really surgical on things, the algo, the technical, the indicators that I have, amongst any other indicators too, but mine in particular, I'm obviously partial to, really allow you to be pretty surgical as far as your entry and exits are concerned. But you don't want to just be flying blind, right? It's almost like a pilot flying blind without having the technical analysis or the traditional technical analysis overlay. It's kind of flying blind by just algo trading straight up. So this is what we got going on here. This is this IOTA dollar. This is an hour chart. Let's turn this to like a 4-hour chart. Okay. So, when you zoom out, that's kind of one of the ways in which we first start looking at a chart for fresh. We just zoom out and we're like, oh, what does this look like? And so, really here you have two cup and handle formations, right? And I don't bother to draw the handle, but you get the idea where it is. But I'm just drawing the cup portion. But you could see here there's two cup and handle formations, okay? And the market ran up. Why did it run up so hard, okay? One of the reasons why it ran up so hard was because you kind of have like this compounding cup and handle formation, okay? All the pent-up energy that was supposed to basically burst out of this first cup and handle formation never really happened. Probably because people weren't paying attention. But once they did, all this pent-up energy sprung out like a spring. And it shot up. And from there, we're taking a look at this formation right here, this triangle formation. Let's bring this back down to 2 hours so you can see a little bit more. So, the triangle formation, it looks pretty good. The volume is descending through this triangle formation. And that's really what we want to see. Okay? The volume is detrending. And So that gives us further confidence that this is actually a true pattern. So where are we right now? We're at the C junction of this pattern, and then obviously there's D, there's E, and then as would suggest that the market would then go up from here. Okay, sometimes there's also a little bit blip down, and then the market goes up, and that's kind of like a way of just kind of like getting all the weak holders out that had gone through this whole thing, getting the last bit of the weak holders out, and it kind of comes down here and then it shoots up. But that's really good for laddering purposes. So let's say, for example, the market were to come to like D. A lot of times it then prematurely never even makes it to the E line here. It comes down and then it shoots up, and then it falls back down again, and then it goes up on its merry way. So that gives you a lot of opportunity to ladder in. At least the way, in our opinion, that's the way we would look at it. So from there, where could it go? I mean, then, we could have this 5, wave, motive wave, as it's called, that, it could reach to $11. That's definitely probable. That definitely could happen. So that's what's going on with IOTA. Let's take a look at Ripple. Okay, Ripple. Let's zoom in here. Okay, so I mean, one of the things I'm on draw here is that there's this 5 wave motive, basically motive wave up. Okay, this is what is providing the push up, and its count is always 5 waves up, and then on the way down there's always like some sort of ABC correction or an ABCDE correction, right? And so let's look at this one. 2 hours should probably do it. Yeah. Okay, so in this wedge, okay, it's a wedge formation, but it's not a wedge formation in the sense that where we want to see an ABCDE. Okay, it's just kind of just a general framework for us to take a look at as to what. So I'm not looking for descending volume, and it doesn't have descending volume, right? So so that's kind of good, because we don't expect it to be a wedge formation, and then if we have a descending volume, then it'd be like, oh, wait a second, maybe it is a wedge formation. Where in the world are we going to fit in the D and the E into this whole thing? Is it going to have further to fall? So it's one of the reasons why we look at the volume, is to see, well, okay, we kind of see this wedge formation, but maybe it's not if the volume is going up. So it's just an added piece of data, to the whole puzzle. So what we have here is this ABC correction. An ABC correction, as per Elliott wave analysis, after a 5 wave motive, wave up, there's always an ABC correction. Always, at least an ABC correction. And no matter how much you zoom into the chart, go down to like 30 seconds on the chart, you're still going to see these 5 waves up and these 3 waves down, and 5 waves up and 3 waves down. It's kind of like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. It's more like 5 steps forward and 3 steps back type of thing. So that's the way it goes. And even in this 5 wave up, it's out of the 5 waves, it's 3 waves up and then 2 waves back. So anyway, just a different way of looking at the whole thing. So we have this ABC correction, and then from there we normally will then go up. Okay, now if you were to look at this like a few days ago, the chances are you would have the C here, and you probably would be totally correct, right? So an ABC correction is made up of 3 waves, and then 5 waves down. You need to be able to count 5 waves down. If you don't get the 5 waves down, then it's something else, and or the C wave is not finished. So if you were to look at this approximately a day ago, you may have thought, because you could still count 5 waves in here, you may have thought this thing may have been done. And it very well could have been done, okay? And then it could have bounced from there. But a lot of the times what happens is it looks like it's done, and then it's not. And that also happened like with Bitcoin recently, right? Actually, last night it kind of had its last wave down within that triangle. And some of the exchanges, like for example, I think it was Bitfinex exchange, had not met that bottom line of the triangle. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times it's this last little kind of blip down is almost like a true up. That's the way I look at it, at least. It's almost like a true up that gets everybody like back to the same point. And so then everyone kind of moves on from that point forward, meaning all the indexes. It's just something weird that I've noticed in a lot of different markets over time, and I haven't really found a better reasoning for why it happens than just that. So, true Elliotticians may just say, well, the last wave wasn't done on the 5th. Okay, cool. That very well could be it, but it just seems more times than not that we get this little kind of blip down. I look at it as an advantage. The advantage is that as I'm counting these 5 waves down, okay, as it's the 5th wave, I'm looking to kind of ladder things in. But you don't ladder things in specifically where you think the wave is going to end. You also put some below where you think the wave is going to end. At least that's what I would do in my opinion. So you put some below, and then this allows you to kind of get into that, at a little bit of a lower price. So I say thank you every time that happens. So then from here, what are we expecting? So then maybe the market would come up, okay, come back down, go up, down, and it's, back and forth. And then where are we going to end up? I'm thinking somewhere around this $5 range. Okay? That's what I'm thinking for now. So, we got to keep an eye on it. We got to make sure that this, this wave up here doesn't turn into some other, crazy beast looking thing. And then, maybe there's another correction. But could very well happen. No question. There are alternates to this, but again, I'm not going to put you to sleep. But this is my primary count as of now. So let's look at Cardano next. So we look at Cardano. This is actually on a Cardano Bitcoin basis, not US dollar basis. I just like the Bitcoin chart better. This is the way in which I'm kind of counting it out. 5 waves on the way up, right? And then 3 waves down, ABC down. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. And again, this also had like this little blip down, right? Had this little blip. And again, I say thank you. So this is on a Bitcoin basis. Let's look at it at a dollar basis. Dollar base, this chart, I just don't like it as much. It just, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel nice. So, similar here, okay, here's the blip. You say thank you. And then hopefully it moves on from there. Where could it move on? I don't actually have that right here. But let's say it moves on to probably, this $1.80 range, somewhere around here if I just eyeball it, properly. Yeah, somewhere around this $1.80 range, probably $1.70 range. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at there. Let's kind of take a look at some of those algo charts too. All right, we're back. So this is IOTA. We're looking at IOTA on a daily basis here. And remember, we had that wedge formation, a triangle formation with IOTA. And, as far as the indicators are showing us here, the algos are showing us here that it's kind of mixed, right? They're not sure if it's going to go up. They're not sure if it's going to go down. It's probably, if anything, it's probably leaning towards the downside, anything more so than the upside. We have D trend that's pointing down. You have the trend strength indicator that's kind of going back and forth. And you have MACD, which is going down. You have the sign indicator, which is down, but it looks like it's going to start curling back up again. Once we see a little bit more evidence of the price coming out of its triangular formation, we will also take a look at what's going on with these algos. So that's kind of what I was talking about before as far as a roadmap with respect to the algorithms. You can't just have one without the other. It's very powerful when you put two of them together. So next up here is going to be Ripple. And Ripple, in a similar fashion, Ripple had that wedge formation there that we were looking for it to break out and break out hard. It's still showing super bullish, and at the same time, it's really keeping very strong to this blue line. Okay, it's not ever closing below that blue line here, and that tells us a lot. That tells us that there's a lot of buying power behind this thing, and the price is able to stay up. However, at the same time, D trend is coming off, MACD is coming off, the sign indicator is coming down, but it looks like it's going to turn in the next few days. So again, keep an eye out with what's going on with the roadmap, and then get really surgical precision with the algorithms. Next up, let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano is a little bit of a different animal. Cardano is even less. Cardano, we're much less sure that the correction is over. Okay, Cardano, there's very few signs that the correction is over for Cardano as far as we're considered. Yes, there's that ABC formation, and that the C leg, the 5 legs of the C formation look to be over, but it's difficult to say. So when we then look at these types of algorithms, one of the things we look at is a trend strength indicator, and the trend strength indicator has just ticked down. Okay, and that is a bearish signal for it. Not only that, we also have that the market pierced right through the Cayenne line and it closed below it. Yes, somebody did mention that there is a significantly strong resistance point at 70 cents. Totally, 100%. We don't completely ignore that, but at the same time, we still utilize the Cayenne line, because the Cayenne line is more how do I put it? It's a computer. It doesn't really have that same human error that a human does, where it just looks at the numbers that are being pumped in. At the same time, you can make the argument, well, a human is able to take a look at those patterns and discern from those patterns and make better judgment. So it's a good thing to have in order to go ahead and figure out whether or not things are making sense with respect to the current levels of the market. Is the market adhering to this invisible support line, or is it adhering to what everybody's considering a strong resistance level? If you can see the resistance level, then everybody else can see the resistance level too. So that can bias the market. These hidden resistance levels, many people can't see them. They don't know that they're even there. So they sometimes can be much more useful than a resistance level. I don't even say sometimes, I say more times than not, they're much more useful than they are of what a resistance level is that just about anybody could see. So with that said, it's not something that we throw out. I just don't mention it because it's not something that I readily utilize. So again, trend strength indicator kind of came down here. D trend is moving down, MACD is moving down, and the sign indicator looks like it's going to start turning around in the next few days. So with regards to all three of them that I went over, Cardano's probably the one that I'm most worried about right now. And it's going to take a few days to see how this whole thing plays out. Maybe it's just a little bit of a blip, or maybe it's a beginning of more of an extended sell-off with regards to Cardano. So with that said, this went on way longer than I ever wanted it to. I'm going to leave it there. Try to get this thing out and and online. If you like what we have to say, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and any questions, let us know.